Okay, so if you're a business owner, you know this feeling. That moment your brilliant, exciting idea suddenly grows legs, develops a mind of its own, and gets a real talent for creating chaos. Well, congratulations. Your cute little baby business? It's officially a toddler now.
Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. That right there is the core feeling of this whole toddler phase. That initial confidence, that sense that you had the perfect plan, it just gets completely blown up. It's like that toddler who just decides to fling peas all over the kitchen. It's sudden, it's messy, and honestly, it's a little bit shocking.
And you know, just like a real toddler, your business at this stage is this wild mix of pure chaos, total confusion, and then these incredible occasional moments of absolute brilliance. One minute it's breaking everything in sight, the next it's learning to walk and talk, and you're just trying to keep up without completely losing your mind.
So to get through this, to really navigate this phase, we've got to talk about the 5 most common challenges, or as I like to call them, the 5 toddler tantrums. These are the specific growing pains that can bring any entrepreneur to their knees if they're not ready for them. Let's dive in and break down each one of these little tantrums, shall we?
All right, first up, we've got the do-it-yourself syndrome. This thing is rooted in what you could call the hero complex. As the founder, you get that feeling that you are the only one who can save the day, solve the problem, and get it done right. But here's the thing. Here's the trap. You think you're being a responsible leader, a good boss, but in reality, you're basically just a firefighter, running around putting out blazes all day long instead of actually building something. And look, that's not just exhausting. It is the single biggest bottleneck to your company's growth, period.
Okay, let's talk about the next tantrum. And this one is a classic, and a really dangerous one, the great cash flow illusion. It's that moment you peek at your bank account, you see that big number, and you think, wow, we've finally made it. But have you?
I want you to just imagine this for a second. You land a couple of big clients, and bam, there's $10,000 sitting in your business account. I mean, that feels incredible, right? It feels like success. You're already thinking about expanding, buying new equipment, maybe even paying yourself a decent salary for once. And then reality comes crashing in. You actually look at your bills, payroll, rent, software, suppliers, and you realize pretty much every single one of those dollars is already gone. It's spoken for. That awesome feeling of being rich, yeah, that was just an illusion. And this is the whole point. The real challenge here isn't just about making money. It's about mastering what we call intelligent capital retention. The entire game shifts from, hey, how much can we make, to, okay, how much can we actually strategically keep and put back into the business? That shift in thinking is what builds a business that lasts.
All right, tantrum number 3. Oh boy, this one is going to feel so familiar to a lot of you. It's the bottomless to-do list, where it feels like you're playing a never-ending, frantic game of busyness whack-a-mole.
Your whole day is just spent reacting to whatever is screaming the loudest, isn't it? An urgent email here, a client complaint there, a snag in production. You are so busy, you are so stressed, you're working harder than you ever have, but then at the end of the week, you look back and you realize you haven't actually moved the needle on your big goals. Not one bit. You're just stuck, treading water.
You know, that leads us right into a really closely related problem. Our 4th tantrum, confusing sales with profit. It sounds like such a simple mistake, but believe me, it has massive consequences for a business that's trying to grow.
So think about it like this. Sales, that's the revenue. That's the flashy, exciting number, right? That's all the water you're pouring into the bucket. But profit? Profit is what's left after all the leaks. You know, all the expenses? That's the only part that actually matters. That's the money you can use to grow and hire and innovate. Chasing sales without watching your profit is just filling a leaky bucket.
Okay, let's get to our 5th and final tantrum. And I've got to say, this one might be my favorite, the monkey problem. It's such a perfect picture of how entrepreneurs get totally swamped. And the funny thing is, you're the one who opened the zoo in the first place.
No, I'm serious. Go ahead, take a look at your to-do list right now. How many of those things are actually your problems, and how many of them are actually monkeys that your team handed you because, let's be honest, they couldn't or maybe didn't want to deal with it themselves? Oh, it happens so easily. An employee gets stuck. They bring their problem, their monkey, right to you, and because you want to be the hero, you take it. You say, don't worry, I'll handle it. You do this a few more times, and boom, before you even know it, you've got a whole zoo full of monkeys clinging to your back, and your team is just kind of standing there, waiting for you to fix everything.
So the big question is, how do you actually survive this whole toddler phase? How do you tame all this chaos? The answer isn't about working harder. It's about a fundamental shift in what your role even is. You have to go from being the chief monkey wrangler to being a real leader.
Look, the solution is not to work harder. It's not to solve problems faster. The solution is to stop taking the monkeys in the first place. You have to build systems, create processes that actually empower your team to solve their own problems. Your job is no longer the hero, it's the architect. You're building a machine, a system that solves problems on its own.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. As you start thinking about how to tame the chaos in your own business, what is the very first monkey you need to gently but firmly hand back to its rightful owner? Because figuring that out, that's your very first step from being just an operator to becoming a true owner.